Please, ladies and gentlemen, we implore you to please get ready, pay attention, and be set for the experience session today. Okay, briefly, we're going to welcome everyone again. It's a fresh day, it's a new day. It's another time to be grateful to God and to thank God for such a time as this. So today, we're going to be having our experience session, and I'm sure we are all really very, very expectant. So very soon, right now, we're going to start fully into the program. I'm happy we are having a lot of people already on board, and we're set. We'll be starting very, very soon. Thanks to everyone on board, everyone on board. Yeah, I can see a lot of people have joined, and we're really, really, really excited and ready to be part of this today. Thank God for life. Yeah, this is the Network Business Club. The experience session being hosted by the Network Business Club of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, City of David. So if you're joining us for the very first time, we want to welcome you specially and want to thank you for being part of today's experience session. And we're sure to let you know that you will have a great experience and a lot to learn and a lot to understand from what we're going to be all learning from today. Thank you very much. Please, I've seen some people raising their hands. I hope you can all hear me. Please, if you can hear me, type in the comment section. Just say, yes, 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 I can. Can you all hear me, please? Please indicate you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Musu. Yeah, you can hear me loud and clear. Felicia Steven, thank you very much. Oh, grateful. Pastor Ivy, thank you very much. We're glad to have you here, sir. Immortal Tija, Irene Ahigbe, thanks so much. Great. We have great men and women in the house. Abiodun Adeusi, Ade, AOA, thanks so much. Great. Olayemi, Olayemi Joba, great to have you too. Ngozi Ike, great. Uyi Usoro, good to see you. Wale Akintola, very great. Thanks so much. Okay. I believe we're really all expectant today, and we are really ready to learn from our guests for today. I believe we are all really looking up to this, and we're hoping to get some more insights and to see a lot, especially from the topic today. So I am really very expectant, and I'm really very glad. I can bet you I have so much to learn from this, and I'm really geared up. Very interestingly, today we're going to be talking about identifying and connecting with the market. So I know this is a very tough one. A lot of people find it very difficult. A lot of people are actually struggling with it. But at this very point, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that we are going to learn a great deal from here. So sit back and relax. We're starting very soon. We're going to be starting with the opening prayer. And to open the program today with the opening prayer, we're going to have no other person other than one of our big guys. I call him Pastor B. His name is Pastor Bayo Olaiya. He's going to be leading us in opening prayer to open the experience session today. And then we'll continue and move to the next session. Thank you very much. Pastor Bayo, I hope you're ready and you're here. Hello, is he here? Okay, if we cannot have him on board currently, if he's not here, let's have Pastor Jai. He's going to be leading us in the opening prayer for today's experience session. Pastor Jai, please, you have the floor for the opening prayer. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Stanley.
You're welcome, sir.
Father, we thank you for today. We thank you, Lord, for your goodness, your kindness, your mercies. Indeed, we can't thank you enough. Thank you that we are alive at a time like this. Thank you for counting us worthy to be even in your presence today. Holy Spirit, we welcome you today. We ask that you come and be with us. Those of us that are listening, give us a listening ear. Give us an understanding heart. What we learn, help us to be able to apply it to our situation and to excel to the glory of your name. We pray for the speaker and ask that as he comes and leads us today, that you will help him and that indeed you will speak through him, so that every one of us in our different areas of life, in our different businesses, will be able to apply the wisdom he's giving us. And at the end of this the day, even by this time next month, when we, by your special grace, we'll be having another experience session, we pray that we'll have testimonies already from what we've learned today and what you've implanted in us. This we ask in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Amen.
Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you very much, sir. We're glad and we want to really appreciate you for this. It has always been a very strong pillar for many of us, even in our business and mentoring. Thank you very much, Pastor Jack. Now, before we go to the opening remarks, we're going to be having the opening remarks this morning, also still by Pastor Jack for the opening remarks. Now, I want us to prepare our mind for a very mind-blowing session today. And I'm not kidding at all. There's so much to learn today. I mean, you can attest to the kind of speaker that we have today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to invite your friends, invite your colleagues, invite your family, everyone around you to please join and come in and, learn with us, and let's have fun together today. It's going to be a lot of fun, I can assure you that. Now, we're going to be having the chairman's remarks, that's supposed to be from Mr. NSAB, but so far it's going to be represented by Pastor Jar, who told you to give us an opening remarks on behalf of the chairman. Pastor Jar, once again, I'm calling on you this time around to give us the opening remarks. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you once more, Stanley. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. This beautiful morning, let's give praise to our God Almighty. On behalf of our chairman, Mr. NSAB, you are warmly welcome from every part of the world to the September 2021 experience session. The experience session is a monthly, high-impact and inspirational event organized by the Business Network Business Club. The Network Business Club was established in 2010. It was born out of the need to create a platform where Christian men and women could network, grow friendships, grow their contacts, and learn from industry captains and experts on the best practices to grow their businesses. In the Networks Business Club, we believe that by networking with individuals, you are also tapping into their contacts, wealth of experience, capabilities, and skills. Within the Network Business Club, you are always talking. You're always taking decisions, always talking to decision makers, and indirectly to their contacts as well. Our vision is to empower Christian men and women to exercise dominion in the complete and absolute sense of Genesis 1 verse 28 in the marketplace, and to advance the kingdom of our Lord and Master Jesus Christ through exemplary conduct in the marketplace. The business club is open to every Christian, irrespective of their denomination. Though the club is run within the Redeemed Christian Church of God, we welcome every Bible-believing brother and sister. We conduct many events. Now, due to the current realities, we are looking to focus in training. A number of the training we hold focus on technology exploitation. We have partnered with Facebook, we've partnered with Google. We also enjoy relationships with financial institutions like the Bank of Industry, and use such platforms to encourage people to take advantage of the opportunities available in the marketplace, such as the CBN empowerment schemes and similar programs. We conduct all this to establish that we can be empowered to have dominion in the marketplace as mandated by the word of God. On behalf of our chairman, Mr. SAB, and the convener of the Networks Business Club, Pastor Idowu Iluyomade, the pastor in charge of the City of David Parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, we welcome you to this special event, the September Experience Session. The Experience Session enjoy global participation today. People log in from countries outside Nigeria and outside Africa. The sessions are very interactive, and you can ask questions from all our social media platforms. Indeed, we are encouraging that you do so. We have had several notable guests during our monthly experience sessions, such as Mr. Cosmos Maduka, the founder, president, and chairman of the Coach Carriage Group, Mr. Sheni Adetu, a former managing director, stroke CEO of Guinness Nigeria PLC, and currently founder, group CEO, Algorithm Media Limited, a leading media specialist communication agency. Mr. Mutiu Sumonu, CON, former group chairman of Shell Nigeria, currently the chairman of Sandio Energy in UK, and the chairman of Julius Berger Nigeria PLC. Mrs. Yimika Adeboye, the current CEO of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. She holds the record as the first woman to be appointed by Cadbury Nigeria PLC as its managing director in 50 years. Mrs. Audrey Ezigbo, co-founder and deputy managing director of Falcon Corporation Limited. These are people that have graced these experience sessions, just to mention a few. Now, the events are called experience sessions because during these programs, captains of industries and successful personalities share their own life experiences. Their life challenges, experiences, and principles actually teach, motivate, and encourage others. We see how they came out of some near impossible situations by applying some principles or best practices. Today, increasingly, the experience sessions prove the fact that everyone has leadership inside of them, and we all have been equipped by God for great success. It does not matter the background we come from. It does not matter the circumstances we are faced with at the moment. God can still make something greater out of our lives. Are you facing a tough situation in your company or business? Is your business at the brink of folding up? Let the best practices, experiences shared on this platform be a source of guidance. Did you suffer a tough beginning? Well, one of our guest speakers went through being locked up inside a small shop every night and grew up to become a great business leader today. Do you have difficulty furnishing that office? We have news for you. One of our guest speakers who co-founded a highly reputable oil and gas company bought fabrics, sewed them together ourselves, and stuffed them with the help of our husband so that they could have cushions on the cane chairs they had bought for their first office. Did the recent COVID challenges have a negative impact on your industry? Well, we have news for you too. During and after the lockdown, people were not allowed to hold parties. And one of our guest speakers that we've had on this platform is a leader in event planning. Did she fold her hands and give up? No. She started an interior decoration business, particularly for people who were converting their homes to offices. Through the experience sessions, we see how ordinary people can make extraordinary successes of their lives and businesses. We are therefore encouraged to tap into our individual and collective potential in order to overcome every obstacle. And that is why this morning, we are particularly glad to welcome our guest speaker. He's a man who tapped into his God-given potential to create an industry that is now recognized and respected. He did not stop there. He is continuously encouraging similarly gifted people to develop their talents and offer valuable service to humanity. A service that is greatly required in these difficult times, I could say. It is with pleasure that we present Alibaba, Nigeria's pioneer and award-winning comedian. Alibaba, no doubt, has a story to tell that will give every listener today a unique perspective of life, of how to make the best of what God has given to us, no matter how unique and different it might be. As we listen to Alibaba this morning, we believe that those of us going through various situations in life and business will be encouraged to confront and overcome them And those already soaring high in their careers and businesses will be challenged to move the bar even higher. You are encouraged to become a member of the Networks Business Club and not only partake of the advantages of being a member, but also contribute your own unique insights. Thank you once more for taking our time to listen to this experience session. God will surely bless you as you participate, and we look to having you in subsequent events. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Pastor Jao. Please, in the comment section, can we just applaud Pastor Jao for that wonderful remark? Please, in the comment section, can I see it, please? In the comment section, let's just say thank you, applaud. Yeah, thank you. I can see that. Thank you. Oh, great. Okay, thank you so much. Femi Professor, thanks so much. Thank you. And what was that, Anthony? Thank you very much. Uyi Usoro, thanks so much. Pastor Jai, we're grateful. Well done, sir. Thanks so much. Okay, we want to give a very warm welcome to our YouTube audience, to everyone connecting on the YouTube. Connected to us on the YouTube, thanks so much. We are glad you're here. We are glad you're watching right now. Please try to share with every other person on other platforms. Please invite your friends, invite more people to come in and let's have fun together. The YouTube is actually bubbling right now. Thank you so much for everyone on the YouTube connection. Okay, for those on the Facebook platform, we are really grateful. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of this month's experience session. We're glad to have you as well. Great one. Great. Oh, good. The Facebook section want to see your comments. Well done. Can you all hear me on the Facebook platform? I believe we can all hear. Thank you very much. Thank you. In the comment section, yeah, just say thanks so much. Thank you. If you can hear me, just type yes in the comment section. Just say yes if you can hear me on the Facebook platform. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you. So glad to have you. All right, from all the three platforms, the Facebook, the YouTube, and also on the Zoom Connect, please just indicate in the comment section where you are reaching us from, where you are connected from. Please, let's have in the comment section where you are connecting with us from. We would like to know where you are and from where you are connected to us. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're based in Lagos, but we know that this is a global audience. Wow. From Warsaw in UK, thanks so much, UK. From Bolero, thanks so much. Oh, Ibadan, Lagos, Nigeria, Ondo State, Benue. Wow, Surulere, Lagos. From Warri, connecting from Warri, thank you. I can see that. Oh, thanks so much for connecting. Please feel free to share. Share with other people who may want to also connect with us. Please share. On the Facebook, please share with us where you're connected from. Can we see that? On the YouTube as well. Thanks so much. Great. Ada Lagos, good. United Kingdom, thanks so much. Thank you. Wow. Sunday Abolari, thanks so much. Thank you. Great to have you. Great to have you on board. We're glad. Please kindly share with your friends, share on your pages, share on your WhatsApp, share on your Instagram as well. You can also share on your YouTube pages. Thanks so much. Dublin, Ireland, Randolph, Ihombore. Thank you. Good. Wow. I'm really excited. From Abuja, great to have you. Wow, great to have you. We know the world is a global world now, and it's easy to connect from anywhere you are, and everywhere you are is just a click away. Thanks so much for your time being part of today's experience session. We don't take it for granted. We applaud you. Come on. We applaud you. Please share and invite more friends, more neighbors and relatives. Please invite them aboard, and let's just have a jolly good time together. Okay, I want to also appreciate our guests for mapping out time today, to be with us. And we know that this is a very difficult one. With a very busy schedule of ease, we know that it's one of the most sought after in the country. and I know that it's very difficult to, track him down. But by the grace of God and the blessings that we can see from God, He has been able to give us the time, to just spend this time with us. We don't actually take it for granted. We really want to appreciate it. I believe you all know what I'm talking about. Before I go into that, my name is Stanley Komolu Johnson, and I'm your moderator today, as you can see. I would like you to just please sit back, relax, and let's have a good time together. We're going to be having a moment with someone who has been a legend, an Amazon in the industry, in the entertainment world, especially in the Nigerian entertainment industry. You know who I'm talking about. This man has been standing strong for so many years. He has gone through a lot, and he has been very dynamic. And through thick and thin, we can see he's still standing and standing very, very strong. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we can't wait to have this session with this very great man that we all look up to, and we really, really look up to want to be part of what he's doing, want to learn more from him, want to know what strategy and measures he has employed to be able to, get to where he is today. There's been a lot, no doubt. A lot of people have thrown in the towel, but here is someone who is an exemplary man who has been very, very strong and very prominent. A pioneer for that matter. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, we are having today with us. I really don't need to introduce him, but I think I should just, do a little by just telling us about him by reading his profile. We all know somebody in Nigeria called Alibaba. There's no other name other than that in Nigeria. We have just one Alibaba in Nigeria. So, going through his profile, Atuyota Hallelujah Akobomere, also known as Alibaba, was born in Warri, Delta State. He was born on June 24th, 1965, to the royal family of Agbaroto, Ughelli North local government area of Delta State. He followed his education at Hebrew College at Agbaroto, and he went on to now rested Bendel State University, now known as Ambrose Ali University, Epoma, where he read religious studies and philosophy. After acquiring a degree from the then Bendel State University in Epoma in 1990, he relocated to Lagos, having discovered his comic talent and funny bone in his third year in the university. Okay. He began his professional career with corporate events, appearing on television shows with the likes of Patrick Doyle, Charlie Boy, and Danla Dibako. He also made cameo appearance on radio shows with Bisi Olatilo, Sonny Rabo, and Manny Odumono. He also worked briefly with Dapo Adelegon on DP Lekki Limited as executive assistant in 1991. Through God's true sacrifice and creative dynamism, Alibaba carved a niche for himself as a comedian for both corporate and non-corporate events. In less than 4 years, he has also become the preferred master of ceremony at some events. Alibaba made the rules, he broke them, and he sometimes even discarded them, depending on how effective they were. These days, no event is considered complete without a comedian at that event. So in 1993, he registered his company, Alibaba Incorporated. And from then on, he's focused on ensuring that the perception of comedians being never do well, in course, change, and instead is seen as profession and respected way of life. In 1998, he hired billboards in strategic locations of Lagos. So in Lagos, Ozumba Badiwe, in Victoria Island, in Osborne, and in Marina, paying for 2 years, 2 solid years. The message was simple, and one has come to be known by being funny is serious business. I believe we can all agree to that right now. Alibaba has lived with the philosophy that business is big enough for all who want to make their chosen profession. As such, he supported and mentored and presented several comedians helping to ensure that standards are maintained and professionalism is encouraged. He has been a professional stand-up comedian for the last 30 years plus of his life, striving to always be at the top of his game. And he has, in the last 20 years, received several awards and all around worldwide recognition, some of which are from the religious bodies such as the RCCG Enablers Merit Award, the television stations awards from Dark Communications, from Silverbird, from LTV, from corporate bodies, so many corporate bodies, countless. I mean, we have to save time. National Comedy Award, Celebrity Media Awards for the most popular talk show. And we all know that Alibaba, seriously. Various associations such as the Association of Voice-Over Artists and a lot more. He has received several awards from the states, from the communities and regions, such as Delta Heroes Award, Most Valuable Nigeria Entertainer, and others, too numerous to mention, for his outstanding role in developing the comedy industry. So in 2019, at the second MSME Award, Alibaba was honored by the federal government of Nigeria with a National Recognition Award for his outstanding contribution in social impact and job creation in the entertainment industry. Alibaba GCFR is married to Mary and is blessed with 3 daughters, Zara, Brandy, and Valerie, and a set of twin boys, Ejiro and Tejiri. So in other words, we can call him Baba Beji. Wow. He's an entertainer, a comedian, a master of ceremony, a motivational speaker, a photographer, a writer, and he has a strong flair for creating and developing ideas. He's an avid reader, and he has constantly seek information. In his spare time, he enjoys drawing, painting, writing, photography. He spends a lot of time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, I would love to introduce Alibaba to take the floor right now. But before we do that, just a minute, before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, before we do that, we have an opening remarks from no other than our spiritual father. When I mean our spiritual father, I believe you know what I'm talking about, Seat of David. Our spiritual father, our daddy, our mentor, and our great teacher. You know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about no other than our very own Pastor Idowu Iluyomade, the Assistant Continental Overseer / Intercontinental Overseer for CSR, PICR 20, Pastor in charge of RCCG City of David. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause in the comment section, let's welcome our pastor, Pastor Idowu Iluyomade. Thank you very much. Pastor Ivy, over to you, sir.
Praise the name of the Lord. Hallelujah. I'd like to, on behalf of Pastor Shiju, my sweetheart, and I, welcome you to the experience session for the month of September. And I think the title is Identifying and Connecting with the Market. I'd like to celebrate our chairman and all the other people that put this together. I think it's quite commendable. All the sessions that we've been having have been quite insightful, and I just want to thank all our viewers, and I pray that today's session also will be fruitful in Jesus' mighty name. Our special guest for today is a man that I've known for quite a while. Indeed, his name has become a household name, Alibaba. Many people don't even know that that's not his real name, but you know, if you say Alibaba anywhere, you know, they know who you're talking about. And our paths crossed, I think, around 1996, thereabout, when we were asked to set up a church, the King's Court Chapel in Ikoyi. And, you know, I was a rookie. I had not preached before. I was an usher, my sweetheart was an usher, and we had 2 other people to follow us. We were 6 in number. So how will 6 people who have never preached before set up a church? Well, even my preachings were nothing to write home about. I had to borrow some of my father's notes. He was an Anglican priest. And even then, things just were not going on as I thought. So Alibaba came on the scene, and we thought that, hey, why don't we work together? I bring the word of God, you bring comedy. And one way or the other, he assisted us in, at least making the people sit down and laugh. We had quite a number of events, Christmas balls, he would come. And I saw one thing in him, that each time he came, he would, bring one or two people. I believe that he's a leader that encourages other people, to learn the trade. He is a pioneer in the space of comedy. And I thank God that because he has an open mind, he has lifted up quite a number of people. And today, comedy is real business. I think there was a billboard that he did some time ago. It says, being funny is serious business. It's kudos to him and to God that today we have a lot of people in that space. He created a market that is not only vibrant, but it's international. And I know that even in the midst of his presentation today, we would have to laugh a bit. So I'd like to encourage every one of us to stay tuned. It's going to be a glorious session, and I'd like us to celebrate Alibaba for being a good man and open-minded, who was able to pull up quite a number of people in the same trade, not caring whether there's going to be competition. I believe that he stands out and is outstanding, and concerning him is the number one in his trade. I pray that every one of us will learn one or two tips from this. God bless you, and we love you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. We are really grateful. Great to have you, Pastor Ide. Thanks so much for your encouragement always, and always being a solid rock behind every one of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the moment we've been waiting for is right now. Are we set to join Alibaba in the experience session? Can I see in the comment section? Just say yes, 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 yes for Alibaba on the comment section. Alibaba is ready, is warming up, is warming up, is warming up. Can we encourage them? Say yes, we're ready for Alibaba. Okay, the YouTube family, what's up? What's up? What's up? The YouTube family, are we ready? Are we ready? I can see in the comment section, the YouTube family, are we ready? Are we there? Okay, okay. The Facebook family, what's up? Are we set as well? Oh, great, 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 great. Thank you. Some are saying the volume is low. Are we ready? Please fasten your seat belts. Get ready for an awesome time with Alibaba. I am sure this man needs no introduction, but from what you have heard, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So we're ready for him right now, and let me just check. Ali, are you there, sir? Hello, testing microphone. Are you there, sir? Hello, we can't hear you. Are you there? Hello?
I'm waiting for the host to unmute me.
Okay, good. Recording in progress. The great man himself. All right, Alibaba, so good to have you right now. Thanks for being part of us today. We don't take it for granted. We know how busy it is, and we know what we have to go through to just get just this very little time with you. Thanks so much. All right, Alibaba, you have the floor, sir.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm working with two devices, so that's why you had that echo. Good morning. God bless all of you. God bless all of you. August Stanley, thank you so much. Pastor ID, thank you so much. Thank you for this platform. And so quickly, I would like to just, so that we can take more questions than what I want to say. Somebody said the audio is gone. Can we all hear me now?
Loud and clear. We can hear you very well. Everyone, if you can hear Alibaba, just say yes. If you can hear, just type in the comment section. Say yes, we can hear. Yes. Oh, great, great. Apostle Over. Thanks so much. Shalom. Wow, wow, wow. Flooding, flooding. We can hear you. We can hear you. You have the floor, sir. Yeah, great.
Thank you very much. Now, so the way I usually start, I say, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be here to speak to you about my journey and to share with you some of the experiences that I have gone through and see how you can help yourself with any of all those, maybe one or two things that you can pick from my journey to make yourself better. There's a lady that has passed on that taught me something. She said, Alibaba, come to me, let me teach you all I know, so you can add it to all you know, and you can be a better person. And her name was Amaka Igwe. Awesome writer, awesome producer, awesome director, and hard worker. So those are some of the people that I learned from. In this life, there's a book that you may already have heard of that says talent is not enough. What happened to my audio again?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, yeah, so we can hear you. Talent is not enough. Yeah, that says talent is not enough. And in that book, it was very clear that you may have a talent and not be able to achieve the things that you need to achieve because you did not apply the dynamics that you need to apply to activate those talents. So there I was young man. I thought, okay, I found this talent and there was no need to do any other thing. And then I come to Lagos and find out that there was a lot more to be done. And this lot more that had to be done by me. First of all, when I said I wanted to become a comedian, I had an uphill task with my dad. My dad had said that he wanted me to be a lawyer. And back in the days, not now that quota system had made them drop cutoff point to 100 and 400. I had 234, the Nigerian code, 234 in my JAMB, and my dad wanted to get me into law. But EPOMA law, if any of you here who knew about EPOMA back then, the cutoff to get into the law department in EPOMA was 250. And since I didn't have 250, I had to do with what I could. And so my dad said, okay, go there, do first a year, and then you change into law. And I discovered stand-up comedy in year 2, in 2008. In 2007, sorry. In 2007. And when I discovered stand-up comedy, everything changed. Now, for me, I needed to first understand what stand-up comedy was before I then made it a career. So I studied it and found out that stand-up comedy was actually created by blacks who were slaves. So the blacks who were slaves were in the farms working, plantations working. And as they were working, they needed to communicate with one another. But since they brought a lot of them from different backgrounds, so you had the people from Nupe, Kanuris, Ashanti, the Zulus, Kalabari, and all those people that were brought, Yorubas, that were brought together, it was hard for them to understand each other's language. So they started speaking the English language that they understood, and it was broken. And so that broken English that they were speaking was the only means of communication that they knew. And in time, it became a very funny way of speaking the language, which is why Warri pidgin. It's funny if you understand English because of how it is used. And so master call you, come chop. Master call you, come food. Master call you. So those were the kind of English that they were speaking. But in any case, these people were now entertaining in the evenings. After work, they come together and entertain, which was one of the process through which they created jazz music. Jazz music was created because they did not understand themselves, but they understood the choruses and the instrumentation and music that was being played. So they would play this music and sing in the evenings, and these slave owners and farm owners will watch these people play. And as they were watching the people play, they then discovered that, oh, this song these people are playing and singing is really very interesting. So let's listen to it. So they listened to it, and gradually people were coming from town to watch them. Then they started, when the people want to perform, they sit on the ground. And when you then have a song to sing or music to play, you and the group will perform to the master. So the master started inviting people from town. So those ones who come from the town to the plantations and watch what was happening. In time, it became an issue because the pantomime and the ones that people were going to listen to in town were different. And this was new. They liked it. They enjoyed it. And then the comedians then started. Okay, they call them comedians because then you sit on the ground and then you stand up to perform. You sit on the ground and stand up to perform. So while you are sitting on the ground, if there was a padlock, they will remove the padlock and then you perform. And gradually, the people who could speak a bit of the English language and had a great sense of humor will now tell stories of the tortoise and the lion and put all those stories together, and we're amusing these rich people. And so what did the slave owners, what did the slave owners do? The slave owners now decided that it was time to make money. Gradually, people now started leaving towns in droves to come to the village or to the farm and plantations to watch these people. The people who were in town, who had the Elizabethan and the Western performances, now discovered that these black people were stealing their audiences and started painting themselves black and performing like black people. So they will speak the English like we used to speak it, the bad, corrupt English, the broken English, and speak it on stage. And because they had the platform, they had the wisdom, they had the language themselves, they gradually began to draw back their followers. So that is how stand-up comedy started. So when I learned this, I was like, oh, wow, this is good. So how do I then perfect this? I've seen comedians in Nigeria, Jaguar, Papiluwe, Baba Suwe, Baba Salah, Samantha, and all those people. And so I decided that I wanted to become a comedian. So this was the biggest problem that I had. It was to convince my dad that I didn't need to read law again, that I now wanted to be a comedian. If you grew up at the time that I grew up, let me use a phrase we use in Warri. They're not born you well to go and tell your father that you didn't want to be a lawyer or an accountant or a medical doctor or an engineer, that you want to be a comedian. So I went to meet my dad just after network news. I said that I had decided that I wanted to be a comedian. And my dad laughed and said, when you say comedian, like who? Because when they tell you that they want you to be a lawyer, there are people they will mention, oh, Mudiaga Oje, Femi, F.R.A. Williams. And so they just had people like that. So my dad asked me, like who? You want to be a comedian like who? And at that time, I thought I would make a great impact by just mentioning the people who were comedians. So I said like Zebudaya, like Jaguar, like Samanja, like Papiluwe. My dad was rolling in laughter. My dad said, so those are the people you want to be like? I said, yes. And he said, okay. But you see, what I need to say is that my dad had a good laugh and promptly disowned me and said he would not be a part of this sham and that I should now go and be looking for my school fees because he won't pay any school fees into the Department of Religious Studies and Philosophy. The challenge was that I couldn't now become a lawyer, and I had to prove to my dad that this path that I was taking was much better. But before I then go further, let me say that before you rebel against authority, you must come with equity. And so what was the equity? I was coming with information that stand-up comedy was paying well, because my allowance from my dad was 100 naira monthly. While I was in school, I had made, I was charging about 50 naira per show. I was charging 40 naira if it's departmental. If I was going outside school, I would charge 150 naira. And I'm thinking, if I could charge all of this, then I'm making more money than my father was sending me. And so sometimes in a week, I'll be able to make like 300 naira in a week. I'll go to Auchipoli, I'll go to Unipen, I'll come to Unilag, I'll go to Luth. The physiotherapy students of Luth were very active at the time. And so I'll go there and perform. And then gradually I started doing events for Coca-Cola. I did events for 7-Up. I did events for Guinness. There used to be a drink called Africola that was very popular in the West. I'll come from Ekpoma and go and do the event for Africola. Tandi Guarana was also in Lagos. I'll come to Lagos, do an event for Tandi Guarana. I'll go back, I'll come to Lagos or Benin or anywhere and go do events for Gold Sport and all those things. And I was making so much money. And I was wondering, how much was it that lawyers were making outside there? That was one of the pointers to the fact that I knew I was going to make money, a lot of money, when I stepped out of the university environment. And with that behind me, that was when I went to meet my dad. I said, I've looked at the financial dynamics and I believe that being a comedian was the best. Another pointer to it was that there were always 4 people to a room. There was a double bunk in a room and a single bunk. The single bunk was for the 400 level students, and then the top bunk was for the younger students, maybe like 100 level, 200 level, and then most often the 300 level downstairs under the lower bunk. But I made so much money in Ekpoma that I got a room to myself. I got a VHS player. Okay, I guess some of you will know. Maybe somebody will explain that to a lot of people. So the VHS player, you put VHS tape, it was top loading. And now all of these things that I was enjoying, I had a fan, I had a TV, a color TV, a Hitachi TV. And I think it was a 17-inch or something. But you see, my room now became, and my room was 2 doors away from Chris Oyakilome, who had the Believers Love World at the time. So I used to draw. I used to write poetry for people. So you buy an invitation and an emotional card. I'll fill content in for you. So the Aki students were designing cards, and then I'll go there and be filling those cards for the people who had paid for special cards. Now I was making so much money, and I said, okay, if my dad is expecting me to leave this one that is giving me money and comfort to go and read law, and if you read law, you would not be able to be a comedian. In that dilemma, I decided that I was going to become a comedian. Now, I understand that the reason any roboman tells you or tries to make his children read law is because there are land cases that they have to win back. And so if the child reads law, then half of the fees have been cut off, you know. But in any case, I didn't read law. So I came to Lagos. When I got to Lagos, the realities hit me in the face. The reality hit me in the face. And what was the reality? It was the fact that Lagos did not give anybody anything. You had to earn it. And I'll repeat that. Lagos does not give you anything. You have to earn it. It's either you earn it or somebody who has earned it offers it to you. I'll repeat. You do not get anything for free in Lagos. You either get it through somebody who has been blessed to offer it to you. And the process of getting it involves grace, involves hard work, involves commitment, involves humility, but you could sidetrack all of this and go the illegal way and get it. And so I told my dad that I would make it. My dad said, fine. And so every time any of my friends or colleagues who were in Lagos went to Delta and saw my dad and told my dad, oh, I met your son, my dad would say he doesn't have a son. And he's disowned me. And of course, his lawyer called me from Warri and said my dad had removed my name from his will. It's not that the money that he even has in the will was plenty, but at least he had removed my name from the will. And I had not been to the palace in a long time. But I started doing events in Lagos. I started studying the space. When I say studying the space, I studied the whole of the entertainment space. I was going to be a comedian, but I needed to understand the platforms. Now, the platforms back then were television, radio, and stage, period. Television, radio, and stage. And if you know well, back then, stage was National Theatre. Radio was Radio Nigeria or Echo, Radio Lagos. And then television was NTA or LTV. And NTA, it was such a strategic place to tell you how important it was that military sentries were always at the entrances, because if you could grab any NTA, you could plan a coup. And so it was that sensitive. It was not just a platform for information, it was a major military strategic point. And so getting there was a big problem. And then you had the press as well. And so those were the platforms that I needed to use to promote myself. And I started going for it. I did free shows. I would buy newspapers and just flip through and see, oh, there's an AGM holding at Mainland Hotel. There's an AGM holding at Club Bagatelle. There's an AGM holding at the Lagoon. There's an AGM holding at Federal Palace. There's an AGM holding at the Calabash. Any meeting that is happening and is advertised in the papers, I'll try and find the place and tell them, I'm a comedian, I can do this if you give me opportunity. And I was just trying to sell myself. I didn't want to go for youth service because I heard how much they were paying then. I think it was 70 naira. Accommodation, transportation, welfare, 70 naira. And I was already making 300 naira per show. I was like, what am I going to do youth service for? So I was frequenting NTA every time. Now, ask me, when I came to Lagos, where was I staying? I was staying at the Babbage. I was staying at the Babbage till I met one of my uncles who saw me while I was trying to make some calls, because I was also trying to travel. I was going to USIS and British Council to go and upgrade myself, because the kind of books that I needed to read were not there. So I need to mention this. Any profession that you are going into, as long as you do not have the documentation or the fine prints that help, like a manual that help you grow, you have to make the rules yourself or find people who have learned the ropes, let them teach you. And the people who have learned the ropes of stand-up comedy were not around, because the kind of comedy that the Babasuwe and all of them were doing was not the type that I had in mind. The type I had in mind was the type of Bill Cosby, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and all of those people in that gang. And so it meant that I had to look out. Sometimes the talents that you have will be limited by environment, will be limited by space, will be limited by finances, will be limited by exposure. And so I felt I had to think big and I had to move out, and which was why I pitched my tent in Lagos. Lagos has all those elements that can help you grow any talent that you have, as long as you channel your talent right and groom it as you should. And so I did that. The challenges I had was accommodation, welfare, feeding, clothes. And I learned very early at that time from people who had been here, like RMD, Norbert Young, that to survive in Lagos, you need jeans, sneakers, and t-shirts. And so I went to Yaba by the rail, and I went to get polos. So, which is how I got hooked onto polo. So I went to Yaba Bendam Boutique and I selected like 4 or 5 of them from the monies that I had. Bought them, bought jeans, and shot straight to Obalende. Dry cleaned them. And so, because I didn't have where to keep my clothes, and the biggest box that I had books inside. So there's a guy called Lati Kekere who was my host in Babbage. He was keeping the suitcase for me because they were books, they were not stolen. But the shirts that I bought, sometimes I come, I'll see Lati even wearing some of them. I can't complain. Anyway, then from Babbage to NTA was a walk. From Babbage to Radio Nigeria was a long walk. From Babbage to USIS, which was at TBS at the time, was not far a distance. From Babbage to Rowane Road, where you had the British Council. So those were my routes. Until I now met my uncle, who said that I should come and stay with him in 1004. And so because he married my mom's younger sister, I stayed with him. And when he then saw my pattern of coming home late, sometimes I go to clubs to perform, Class nightclub, Night Shift, Peak nightclub, Lord's nightclub, all those places. And I came back home one day at about 8 p.m. and he said that he didn't want me in the house again. So I had to go back to Babbage. Why I'm laying all of this out is that to make it, it's not easy. A lot of people think that it was overnight. I probably must have spent a better part of 1989 at the Babbage. 1989 at the Babbage. And then at the Babbage, the palm trees were all the way in. It would take you a good 10 minutes to get to the water from the road. So I walk all the way in, and then you see those huts that are built there. Those huts, people were sleeping there. Aladura, people were all there, but there are some places that were like makeshift accommodation for people who came into Lagos and had no place to stay. So that was where we were staying. In all this time, I had not spoken to my dad. And so I started hustling. I was going from club to club. I would perform at club. Then I met Prince 2000, who used to do a show called Sunday Rendezvous on Sundays. And he made me appear like 2 or 3 times. Then I met Danladi Bako, who now started putting me in television dramas. Then I met Layara Sami. Then I met Peter Igo. When I met Peter Igo and I told him my experience, Peter Igo now said, oh yes, I could help you. Why I'm mentioning this is that in any career path that you decide to go on, you need helpers. You need platforms. You only know that you need challenges. The challenges will make you know whether you really want to be that. If you do not have challenges at all, you will not appreciate what you finally then get. Then you also need your goals to be clear. Your goals must be clear, because if the goals are not clear, you don't know what you're working towards. You don't know what you're fighting to achieve. Now, you also must know the market. Know the market. If you do not know the market, you do not know who you want to sell to. You do not know what you want to sell. You do not know how you want to sell. And the appreciation of your talent will just be nothing. So you needed to work on all of that. And for me, it was also important that the tools that I was working with were clear and were directed at what I wanted to achieve. And when I say tools, most people think once you have the talent, that's why they say talent is not enough. At that time, I needed to study the Nigerian market and understood who I wanted to sell to. So now, who did I want to sell to? Who was going to buy into this stand-up comedy? Who was going to pay enough money for me to survive? And the person that will pay enough money for me to survive must be somebody who appreciated what I was doing. One, there are people in Lagos that do not want to pay. In fact, Nigeria, nobody wants to pay for anything. Just as they don't want to pay taxes, nobody wants to pay for anything. And so, if what you are bringing is not even tangible, it makes it worse. Somebody doesn't want to pay police band 10,000, then you will come alone and you say you want to take 10,000. Oh yeah, we're in. And so it was really very difficult trying to sell myself to these people. And then I came, and I remember one time that I went to Nigerian Security and Exchange Commission. I was invited there by somebody who saw me at an event and said they wanted me to do something for Nigerian Security and Exchange Commission. When I got there, the alleged that saw me said, "Oh yeah, well, you're welcome. Are you the one that wants to perform?" I said, "Yes." "Okay, so how much is your bill?" I told him 10,000 naira. This is 1990. The man said, 10,000 naira for what? I said, for my stand-up performance. He said, "Leave. When you leave, don't close the door." He did not negotiate. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why he did not negotiate. When I later found out, the man was, okay, anybody that was in Security and Exchange Commission is a civil servant. The man's monthly salary was 1,300 naira. His monthly salary was 1,300 naira. His name is Idowu. He's now in the debt management office. And so I left. But luckily, every time you perform, you have a new platform to market yourself. So every platform is a place to market yourself. So that is how I saw it. So if you give me a platform on television, I'm promoting myself. If you give me on stage, I'm promoting myself. I'm not doing you a favor. I'm providing service, and I'm also doing myself a favor. I also then knew from that time that until you change whatever talent you have to service, nobody will pay you for it. Until you make whatever talent you have a service, nobody will pay you for it. How? It is that service is a response to a need. Service is a response to a need. So you must find out what the people need, and then you must provide the service to it. And so as soon as I did that, everything changed. So I started seeing myself as someone who was offering service and not as someone who had a talent. Convert your talent to service, and people will ask you for your account numbers. I'll give you an example. One time I went to a party in Shagamu, and this lady was taking care of children. And when I say taking care of children, she came as a guest. She came as a guest. And she was playing with a child that was sitting by, the woman that came by her was sitting with her, and she was playing with a child. They were into this game. And then she got up to go and do something. And the child started crying. The child that was with her mom started crying when this stranger that was playing with her was getting up. So she said she was coming back, and she continued crying. So she carried the child and went. When she finished playing, she came and dropped the child because the child was now sleeping, and handed the child over to the mom. Then she was on the table and then heard another child crying. Then she turned and walked to the woman and said, "Why is she crying?" And the woman said, "I don't know. You know how some mothers get irritated, and irritable when a child is crying. She said, I have done everything." But and then the woman now played with the child a bit and carried the child and came to our table and sat down. Few minutes later, that child was sleeping. That is a talent, but she was offering it for free. The next time I ran into that woman was at a place called Water Park. There was a birthday party, so Water Park. And I saw how she was relating with children. So I told her, I said, "Madam, I think do you own a crèche?" She said, "No." She said, "No, that she works in a bank. IMB, she works in IMB. I said, "I think you should open a crèche and a school. I think you have a talent for children." She was like, "Me, in school? I know that she's a banker." I said, "Well, no problem." We left the story. Then I saw her again in 2001, which is a long time after. And she was now a senior, I think an AGM or so. She had reached management level in another bank. I can't remember the name of the bank, but in Abuja. And I said, "Oh, do you remember?" She said, "Yes." So we got this thing. And I said, "Did you ever do that thing that I said?" She said, "No, that she's an AGM now, that she's looking at DGM and next in GM. So what would she?" I said, "Okay." But guess what? She decided to set up a school later and resigned after 6 months. She owns a chain of schools now, and she's even set up some in the East. Your talent has to be converted, and discovering your talent is one. Please, discovering talent is a key part of building a career in anything that you decide to go to. Because the thing is that if you are weighing anything close to 130, 140 kg, there's no way you win 100 meters. There's no way. If you are a stammerer, there's no way you read the network news. There's no way you read the network news because you're a stammerer. So you must know your limits. For instance, and this is not dissing anybody, if you are visually challenged, getting a job as a driver is out of the question. So the point I'm trying to make is that you must personally assess yourself, your capabilities, and know what you can do. There are some people that can become front desk officers because their temper is not here. Some of them do not even have tolerance for questions. So some of those people just, so what I'm trying to say is that knowing who you are also helps you. Don't forget, before I decided to become a comedian, I had grown to become someone who loved reading. In fact, I could be reading a book and finding things funny in the book, and somebody else would take it and be like, so what's funny here? I said, oh, you didn't read this part? And I'll be like, then I explain it. I could be watching a movie. You know, for those of us who grew up in Warri, if you watch a movie and you now try to tell some people the story of the movie, your story goes like this. So the actor can't come. So the actor come. The other man come, they talk nonsense. And the guy punch and pow. That guy punch and pay. They come, they fight. They come tear the guy blow. And that guy just die. He can't go meet another guy. Come beat him again. That guy died. You see? That is how you hear an uninformed narrative. But if you could read, understand, and comprehend, it would be like, when the guy got there, he asked the man, what happened to the money that I gave to you? And that guy would be like, what money did you give to me? We had a deal and I was robbed. The detail is now in the story and how you are telling it. But the person that does not understand it, all he's done is the guy reached there, punch and the fight starts, which is why you used to find a lot of people who were telling stories back in the days. Bishao movie, they want to go and watch Bishao movie. If they are not shooting, you know, the movie, you know, like a lot of people would not watch Boston Legal because there are no fights and gunshots. They will watch a movie that has gunshots. But when it is intellectually engaging, they shy away from it. So I started reading from the age of 3 because my dad and nearly everybody in my family were a book loving family. I started reading at the age of 3 from West African Pilot, Nigerian Tide, New Nigeria. There was a newspaper back then, New Nigeria, and Observer, the Tribune, all of those newspapers. I used to read it. Then Spam. Then my dad banned me from reading James Hadley Chase because the front cover belied the content of the book. My dad thought the fact that some naked girls were with a gun showing a part of their bodies, then it was a bad book. My dad didn't want anybody to read. So my sisters introduced me to Mills and Bones. I read it, but it was too childish. So I upgraded myself to Harlequin Romance. Then I found out it was not even this thing. I even tried to read Pacesetters, but that one was just like kindergarten. And then so I stepped to James Hadley Chase. So what I did was that I'll rent or buy at that time. The guy who was working in Volkswagen, because we grew up in Ojo, who was working in Volkswagen, who had a collection of James Hadley Chase. So they'll give it to me. I'll now wrap it in a paper, different paper, maybe cement paper, and I'll be reading. Only my sisters knew that I was reading James Hadley Chase, and they always let me read because when I finish and I start coming to tell them of Marco Polo and tell them of all the bad guys inside James Hadley Chase, they'll be like, wow, so. And then I'll describe, I say, he walked in with a glint in his eyes and a frown on his lip. He was ready to kill. Murder was the next thing. So when you're telling them this kind of thing, they'll be like, wow, how did you read that? And I'm talking about starting to read from age 3, and by age 13, I could read a book and give you some of the lines that were inside, which was why my dad thought being a lawyer would have been the best thing. Now, the other thing that I need to talk about is customer retention and customer engagement. One thing I found out in Nigeria is that prices get around. Every client that you give a discount today would tell somebody else how much they paid you. Even if the person kneels down and swears to God, The day his own cousin comes and says, how much did you even pay Alibaba for that? He will say, he normally charges 1 million, but I begged him, I knelt and swore, and he took 300. No. They go straight to, it was 300. And if the person is not as wealthy as the person that asked, the person will tell the other, it's 300. You say, if you pay 300, then it's 150, I will pay. And what do? They start negotiating from 100 because they want to pay 150. So you that used to charge 1 million, because you have done a favor to somebody, you brought yourself down to it. So customer pricing is also part of it. So I learned how to negotiate. I learned how to value customers. Valuing customers is important because you then know what value you get from them apart from what they pay you. There are people who, this customer, I should do something for this customer because of the people that the person will invite will give me more customers. It is not because of what I'm doing for this person, but because of what I will gain from it. I'll give you a story. When Joseph interpreted the dream for the butler, it was not the butler he was doing that help for. He was doing it because he knew the butler was going to be free. And after doing it for the butler, and the butler stepped, and the butler was about to step out, he reminded him and said, remember me. Now, you see, what is that? That is the origin of call cards. Some people set up businesses and they don't have call cards. You go to a place where you could network and you can't give your card to somebody. From as far back as 1993, 94, I had gotten a voicemail box. Their office was on Norman Williams, number 12, Norman Williams. They had a voicemail service there. You give the number to somebody, they leave a voicemail. You go to any payphone, whether Telepoint or Nitel, make your call, get your voice messages, and you go and follow up your contact. And then pager services now came. When paging services came, I was one of those that got. My pager number was 197. The next number I then got was 493. But pager number 197 was so popular because I then got a billboard. Why did I get a billboard? It was marketing. Marketing is part of promotion. In spite of the fact that God had favored Joseph, he had to market himself. Joseph did not just do it and say, I've done it for him. There's no need to ask him. Joseph still asked. You must market yourself. You must promote yourself. In spite of the fact that Jesus was the Son of God, he went about doing good because he had to make people believe in him. What happens with a lot of us that we have talents, we then want people to come and find out the talent by ourselves. If people do not know where your talent is, they won't come to it. You think Jesus just woke up one day and said, so who has a donkey in this Mediterranean? Can somebody find out? No. Jesus knew who to go to for donkeys to ride into glory. You must begin to promote yourself to the point and then build integrity while you are doing that. Now, customers, there were customers that I had to build because networking is also good with customers. There were customers that I had to build myself to, sell myself to, introduce myself to, even when they were not paying anything. And every time I go for an event, when I finish, before I leave, I make sure my cards go around so that people can connect that performance I did with my call card. The call card is remember me in your kingdom. Remember me. Now, take that word, remember me, and see how it worked for the thief that was on the cross with Jesus. That is like giving your call card to the ultimate man. At the time that some other people will be bad-mouthing you, who is it that you are giving your card to? The man gave his card to Jesus on the cross, and Jesus said, you will be with me on the right hand of my Father. Because you have to market yourself. Failure to market yourself is the reason some people are still where they are. They'll see opportunities and they won't recognize it, which is something else that we need to do. Recognizing opportunities is very key. Recognizing opportunities is very key for the growth of any career that you are in. Some people will see opportunities, they will not recognize it. And you have to build yourself to the capacity to know how to recognize opportunities. There's a lady called Yewande Zacchaeus who was working in EcoBank back then. She used to plan small events for their friends. You know, somebody says he wants to do something. So why not get so and so DJ? Why not get so and so this thing? She's a lawyer. She resigned from the back and started Eventful, one of the richest event planners in Nigeria today. You must recognize the talent you have, know where to apply the talent to, the platforms to apply the talent to, and culture and cultivate the markets that you are targeting the talent to. When I started promoting myself, one of the things that I also did was that I got 3 billboards in Lagos. Now, those billboards were not cheap. 28 feet billboard was 140,000 naira. 48 sheets of billboard was 200,000 naira. The board that was in front of Marwa's house, which is Marina, was a 48 sheet board. And you know how how strategic that board was that. Don't forget that there was no U-turn under the bridge in front of Muson at the time. So everybody used to come through Net Building. So every time you come out through Net Building and you're going towards Bonicamp, and that's or going up Third Mainland or going to Bonicamp, you hit the board. And it was a prime board. The people who had the board before me were UBA. UBA had the board. And when I went there and I saw board to let, a vacant board, I called the people. I said I wanted the board. The guy that was managing the board is a Panafie. His office was in Mushin. Don't forget that Mushin is the home of printing. And so I went there and I saw him. I said I wanted the board. The man said, okay, for what? I said, I want to promote myself. He said, what do you do? I said, I'm a comedian. He said, who are you representing? I said, myself. He said, what do you want to put on the board? I said, Alibaba. Being funny is serious business. And then my pager number. The man said, so how are you going to pay for it? I said, I'll pay for 3 months. The man said, okay, so you'll be paying instrumental. I said, I'll pay for the 3 months straight. You see, what people did not know was that when I got into stand-up comedy and started making money, they didn't know how much money I was making. Even the press were writing all kinds of nonsense about me. Like when I got married, there people would say, "Oh, it is because a comedian marries a banker." But you see, and I quickly asked this question: when AY married his wife, was she a banker? When TA married his wife, was she a banker? When Basketmouth married his wife, was she a banker? When TA married his wife, was she a banker? Okay, Bakasi. People do not know how much money is in the industry. And until somebody wants to pay you for the services that you render, that's when they know how much. So it was gradual, though. People then found out how much we're making in the industry. Like Obasanjo. Obasanjo did not know how much I was charging. But he was very happy when in 1999, when he came out of prison, and Bode George was inviting me to Abuja to come perform because he enjoyed my performances. Till 2001. So 99, 2000, 2001, when he found out how much I was earning, that was when he shouted, because he didn't know. He thought it was, you know, how people think, oh, never do wells, you know. They didn't know how much we're making in the industry. First of all, let me say, I don't know how many of you, except for the children of billionaires, earned 1.5 million in 1996. In 1996, I was paid 1.5 million naira. But it sounded like billion though. 1.5 million, 1.6. They took taxes and everything, to withholding tax, and from Nigerian breweries, from a Guinness for a drink called Sassenbrow. We did a tour with Sassenbrow with a guy called ID Yang. He was made the brand manager, and we did a tour around Nigeria. I think Mr. Savage, who then became the MD, was in charge of marketing and corporate affairs at the time. So they got my services, and we went around. That kind of money, the only people who earned those kind of monies were either stockbrokers, oil and gas workers, not entertainers. But as soon as I got that money, I knew that this industry had to be taken over. But a lot of people who did not know how much I was making would say anything they wanted to say. I don't know how many of you in here were around during the NIB days, Nigerian International Bank. There used to be Thank God It's Friday. GTB had Thank God It's Friday. All of those banks, Standard Trust had Thank God It's Friday. And I was jumping from, sometimes on a Friday, I would jump from 3-5 clubs and go to perform in all of those places. And I was earning 20,000, 30,000, 20,000, 30,000. That money that I was earning was the salary of some of them that were working in the place. But the service I was offering demanded that. Now, in rounding up, I would say that in building your talent and anything that you need to understand the competition. What is the competition doing? How are they selling themselves? And one story of understanding the competition that is in the Bible is Jacob and Esau. Esau's porridge was so good that it was demanded by somebody that wanted to die. So it meant that he was doing something extra. And that extra was why he went a long distance to make sure that he got the best meat to prepare it. But you see, while you are doing that, there are people who do not have half your talent, who will do anything possible to present quick fixes for people. And because people do not want to pay you for the charges that you put on the services that you offer, they will pay peanuts to get crap in the process of, so somebody that can't afford a Benz will buy a Picanto and say, it is not to move one person from one place to the other, but you have to then promote yourself properly. So understanding the competition is key. Understanding your colleagues is key in this industry, and learning to be a step ahead of all your colleagues and your counterparts. In finally rounding up, I would say that you cannot do without mentors and destiny helpers. A destiny helper does not have to be one person, which is the problem a lot of people have. When you're getting mentors, don't get one mentor that is an overall mentor. RMD mentors me on creativity and in looking good. Another person mentors me on investment. One other person mentors me on spirituality. Another person mentors me on marital issues. Somebody else mentors me on creative writing and all of that stuff. So you must spread it out. And in every way that you can and could, please try to totally exhaust the abilities and potentials of your talent. Don't get limited and say, okay, for instance, if you're a lawyer, you can become anything that you want to be. You can be a broadcaster, you can be a property, you go into real estate, go into politics, so don't get limited and say, it is only courts that I want to go. Some of the people that are going to court have properties. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you all. And I'll be waiting to read some of the questions that you're sending to me. I already made the arrangement for those of you who would have issues after and if there's any area that is not clear. I did mention that the tools that I used to grow myself were books, television, video tapes, audio tapes, listening to people, interacting with people. Those are some of the things that I use. And I thank you. I'll be waiting for some of your questions. Thank you so much. I hope that you now know that building a career requires a lot of things. And with time, I probably will try and post something that I'd written out on Instagram so that you can connect it with this. And finally, it is a story of the mother of Moses. The mother of Moses understood totally how to promote, how to market, how to manage, and how to seek information and how to apply information. And how she did it is this. She had a condition. First male child, or any male child of anybody should be killed. Of all the Israelites should be killed. That was the situation. She had that information. And then she said, what should we do to protect our child? So that is providing solution. And in providing a solution, she had to then take the child to a place so that somebody else will not kill the child, so somebody can adopt the child. It has to be based on information for you to know that the princess has a place to go and even have a bath. And if the princess goes to a river to have a bath, it means the river must be clean. And if the river is clean, it means that the river is flowing, because only stagnant rivers smell. but flowing river that a princess is worthy to go and have a bath in will be flowing. And if you then put your child in a basket and put the child in that water, the child will float away. So you also have to have technical and strategic partners, which are somebody like Miriam. Miriam was there to make sure that anytime the basket was floating out of position, they brought it back. Have people who work in your team that can tell you this is not going in the right direction. Let's bring it back to this place. There are some of you, you get distracted, but you have people who work with you, they can put you back into position. The other thing that I need to mention is that information is key. It was information that made Jacob's mom know that somebody wanted porridge. Information is how Moses' mother knew that the princess needed a child. Because if the princess already had 4 or 5 children, then you bring your Moses in a basket, it will float away. In fact, she will not have time, because what does she need another child for? But information is key. And then when the presentation was done with the person she was presenting the child to in mind. Let your customers be in your thought process when you are doing anything, product or anything, because they are the ones you are offering the last product to. And so the child had to be put in a basket that was befitting for a princess. With these 3 points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that there's a lot of work in building your careers and building your platforms. Thank you so much. God bless you. Stanley, you are still muted.
Am I still muted?
Thank you, Abosede. Thank you, Femi. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Great time with you, sir. This is really impactful. Really impactful. Thank you so much, Alibaba. I mean, you always deliver. Thank you so much. We are really very grateful. And I can see in the comment section many times. Oh, wow. Let's say a very big thank you, a round of applause in the comment section, please. A round of applause. A very big one. Please. Keep it coming. The Facebook family, keep it coming. Let's say thank you. We really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. Thanks so much for this insight, because we all see just that part of the glory. We don't see the hard work. We don't see the sweat that goes into it. We don't experience that part that shows us the real strength, that's being tested at that point. Wow, this is great. And we are really proud of you. I mean, we can say that it is not just today, it is not just an overnight kind of food, but thanks so much. We are grateful. A round of applause, please. Well done, Alibaba. Thanks so much for sharing your experience. The speaker, Jimmy, says thank you. Thanks for sharing your experience. This live presentation is worth it. Wow, great inspiration, electrifying. Great. Thank you so much, Alibaba. I mean, how else can we just thank you? We just have to say, well done, sir. Great. Thank you. Okay, well, I later posted in the group that please, we should send in our questions to the comment sections. And we also want to thank Alibaba one more time. He has said he's going to also still respond to questions. And, as much as you would want to ask some questions in the course of practicing, in the course of putting some of these things into practice, he would like to share and he would like to assist, just to be able to just give some directions in order for anyone who still needs more support, more advice. Thank you very much. We are really grateful for this. Okay, let's check through the questions and the comment section to see questions. I mean, Alibaba started with a very brief history of what it means or what is called stand-up comedy. And we all saw that because we all just feel comedy is just to make people laugh. It's just there, it's not structured. You just come out, you just say, I'm a comedian and all of that. What is called comedy. What exactly is being referred to as comedy? And at least he's been able to do justice to that. A very great one, for instance. I mean, for example, we learned a lot. We learned from how he was able to identify some people, some set of people as role models and people you would like to, you look up to. And how do you come up to your parents and the people whom your parents have seen as never do well? And those are the kind of people that you're looking up to and say you really want to be like this person. I mean, who will encourage that for any of the children? But then this is a man who has decided to go on, stood strong, and was able to make a success out of it. Today is a recipient of so many awards from so many areas and so many walks of life. Thanks so much, Alibaba. We are really, really grateful. Okay, someone is asking how do we get a replay? Please, please. Okay, you want to say something, sir?
Yes. When you say awards, I want to, sometimes it's like I was telling somebody one time, I used to keep my awards in the box because I felt those ones have been conquered. There's no need to use it. Then somebody now called me one time. I said, we gave you an award. Where is it? I said, oh, it's in the house. He said, no, put it on your shelf. So I decided to do this. Let me take some of them on a tour. See.
Oh,
so I did this.
Great. Wow. 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 This is great. This is a lot.
Now, some of these drinks that you see here, like some of these drinks, it's not just drinks, really. It was, I'll show you something. I was inducted into the Johnny Walker Riding Man organization.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Wow.
In 2019. So most of the drinks that are here are not actually for consumption. They are given to me by people, and then the names are branded on them. And this is me. And this is a half collection of some of the books that I have for my library.
Oh, great.
Let me even so that they know that it is about reading. And this is my office. So I'm just taking them now so they understand.
Awesome. Hello? Are you still there, sir? Wow. I think this is mind-blowing.
So that is who. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. I've not seen the questions, so how do we go about the questions?
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to read some of them. Well, I can see some questions are coming in already from the Zoom session. I'm going to check through the YouTube page. We're going to get some questions from there as well. And also questions from the Facebook page. Well, wow, interesting. Okay, some of the questions I have here. One is a very, very special one, Alibaba. Very special one. We know it's a very, very difficult terrain, especially in Nigeria, where we know that this is all about who knows who and man know man. So here's a question that where you are presently, I think this person is speaking from his own personal experience, where you don't have anyone willing to help, anyone willing to give a platform, anyone who is not trusting you enough to say, okay, I think I recognize this in you. Come up and let me see what you can do. In that case, what can you do?
Okay, let me say, there are people who have talents, and until you exhibit that talent, nobody will know what to do. So what are you doing to exhibit the talent? What are you doing to show that you have that skill? So first thing is, if you don't have a platform, you can begin to volunteer and people will see the skills that you have. Just like Ruth. Ruth lost her husband and moved with her mother-in-law. When she moved back with the mother-in-law, she did not sit at home. She did not let challenges hold her back. She went to the fields and was picking grains. So what happens is that don't let anybody see, just be picking grains. What are you doing? Picking grains then means that you have to be doing something, even if it is charity work, if it is something on the side, before you get a main job, be doing something that people will notice. When the first job that, beyond being a shepherd, the first job that David got, the first job he got was playing his harp to pacify Saul.
Yeah.
But you see, he didn't keep the harp somewhere and sat down and somebody came and said, this boy can know how to play harp. No, he was playing the harp and somebody benefited from it.
Yeah.
And so you must, in any way you can, showcase the talent that you have. It can be in your church community. Somebody was telling me the other time, oh, I want to grow. Okay, now this, I won't call the boy, he's now a big boy. He said, I want to grow, but nobody is helping me. I said, what church do you attend? I said, why not offer that service to the church?
In your church, good.
And he was like, I said, offer it to the church. You know how to write stage plays. Write the stage play. Tell the pastor that infuse the message you want to put it in. They'll take it on stage. And I was like, I said, have you tried it? They said, no. Some of them tell me, oh, I'm a comedian. There are people in your church, they have events every now and then. Have you said, oh, this women conference that you're having, let me come and do 5 minutes of comedy? And they will say, yes, come. So you have to, in every way that you can, showcase it, because some of the people that called me for services, I did not talk to them. They met me at a place where I was performing and called my services.
They found you on the field. They found you on the field.
Yeah, so they found, exactly. They must meet you on the field. You understand?
Yeah.
Even as bad as it is, which is, it's not an example you should give. Jesus met the woman by the well fetching water. Jesus met the woman by the well fetching water.
Okay.
So she was about her business. She was a prostitute, but Jesus met her at a place where she was always picking up men. Now, don't forget that the well back then was not just a well. The well was like WhatsApp. The well was like Twitter. Because back then, a well was where everybody gathered. Because most of them in the Mediterranean, it was not easy to get water. So when you find a place that has well, everybody clustered around there. And when they clustered around there, they met different people.
Good.
You understand? And which is where Jesus now went and met the woman. Because when the woman goes there, she'll pick up a different man today, and pick up a different man the next time, and pick up a different man. Now, that time, men that traveled through those places usually don't come. It's like the 3 wise men. They come through and don't come back this way again. So they go through that place and then go. So they were sojourners. And so it is important to know that you must develop yourself to a place where people recognize the talent that you have. In fact, it is after people recognize the talent that you have that they then say anything that he says you should do it. If they did not recognize the talent that Jesus had, you will not hear that from Mary. It is in fact, the number one recognition you get is when somebody recommends you. But before they recommend you, you must have offered the service to somebody. If you've not offered that service to somebody, it's hard to recommend you.
Great. Thank you very much for that. I feel that's a very, very apt answer to that. Great. I have a very short question here, and I believe this shouldn't take too long. Someone is asking, I think I should quote the person right here on Zoom. He's saying, the person is asking a question about location. That is location a factor? Like, okay, you are in Warri doing well. Is it like you have to move to Lagos, or you are in Zamfara, but what you're doing right there is not appreciated? Is location a key factor Like you have to reposition, relocate yourself to a position where people can see you more or where people can, patronize you. What do you say to that, sir?
Okay, you see, back in the days, if you wanted to be a lawyer, you had to go to the UK. If you wanted to be an accountant, you had to go to the UK. But gradually, that then stopped when University of Ibadan, University of Ife, Ahmadu Bello University, so that was brought home. So you don't have to travel, because people, back in the days, if you wanted to go to, so you traveled out to get education, but education was now brought home. Back in the days, to become the comedian that I became, I needed to leave Bendel State and come to Lagos, because I needed to move. It's called the osmosis and diffusion technology, dynamics. Osmosis and diffusion dynamics. It means you move from the area of lower concentration to the area of higher concentration. And so moving from the area of lower concentration to the area of higher concentration means that the concentration that was at home, the appreciation was low for my services, but the appreciation is high for my services here. Let me tell you something. If you're a basketballer today and you play basketball in Lagos, do you think you earn as much as the basketball that is being paid for in the US?
Never.
Never. So what it means is that until that development comes, you have to gravitate towards where you can make your career bloom. The other thing that I also need to say is that when Joseph was with his brothers, he had to move to to Egypt, to activate the skills that he had, because his brothers did not appreciate what he had.
Great.
So it is important for you, every time you have a skill, if you listen to me, I said, one of the things that you must do is platforms, customers, promotion. Find where your market is and go there and promote your business. Because wherever you are, if you are limited by environment or limited by exposure or limited by nobody will pay you whatever you can't be in Damaturu or in somewhere in the north, and you are thinking of building a seaport. You must go to where it is either naturally abounding, or you then do something that will grow. Somebody is raising a hand. Okay, Alozie.
Okay. All right. Okay, Alozie, can we have you? You want to say something?
Thank you very much, Oga Alibaba.
Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. We can hear you, sir.
Oh, great. Yeah, we're very inspired by the stories and your experience in life. I just want to ask you a question based on what you've been, saying about making references to the Bible, making references to some very many important characters in the Bible as it has helped you. So I just want to find out how has the influence of God and the work of God helped you in your career, right from the beginning, because this will also help most of us who are looking up to God for one form of breakthrough or the other. So we want you to paint, give us an insight, the influence that you derived from God, your character. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay. One thing that I need to say first is that I grew up in a Christian home. Secondly, I was born and baptized as a child, and I then went further to read religious studies and philosophy. So I read religious studies and philosophy, not Christian religion. I read the New Testament in Greek. I read the Old Testament in Hebrew. I studied Arabic in the Arabic language. And when I graduated from ECPOMA, I did religious studies and philosophy. So the intricate understanding of the Bible and theology and philosophy of religion were part of my study for 4 years. So application of the things that I studied is one thing. Then application of the things that I then experienced is another. I'll give you an example. I live by the things that I read in the Bible, and I share those experiences as well. So this is how it is. If, for instance, somebody tells me, oh, he's waiting for God, I'll tell the person. So I refer people to the Bible a lot because it also shapes my experiences and my life. So one of those things is people that always say, oh, I have a talent, but I don't know what to do. Do you remember what God asked Moses? He said, what is that in your hand? To Moses, it was just a rod. But don't forget that back in the days, for you to have that rod means that you're a professional shepherd. And the implication of it when we were taught in class was that every shepherd can lead people because you can lead sheep that don't even hear. If you can lead sheep with your stick, then you can lead sheep, you can lead people if God guides you. Because you already know the paths that people will pass, you know the roads in the wilderness, that you know where to get water, you know where the shortcuts are, because you are a shepherd. And then God then blesses that thing that is in your hand. The Bible says God will bless the work of your hand. So most of the time when I'm teaching people, a lot of people will be like, oh, how come you make a lot of references to the Bible? It's a given pamphlet, it's a given manual to all of us to make it. And so you can apply it, you can hear it, because some people may not want to apply it, but it is there. So for me, I live by all the things that I've learned in the Bible. And one of the greatest teachers for me in the Bible, is David. David is as close to God as anybody can be, but he falters every now and then. But he recognizes that he faltered. And every time he recognizes that he has faltered, he quickly runs back to God to say, God, I have no other place to go. Here I am. Rescue me. When he's happy with God, he dances till his clothes fall off. His repentance is on a different level. His influence, his wisdom, he shares to everybody. There are people who do not like David because of adultery or because of something that he did. They pray with the Psalms that he wrote. So what I'm trying to say is that take the message that God has sent through people. Take the message that God has given through people. Many people may not appreciate the value of the Bible, but as much as you continue to use them, as much as you continue to use those values in the Bible to teach, you are also an evangelist in spite of anything that is going on around you. Thank you. There's a Daramola whose hand is up.
Yeah, Daramola Mayowa. Okay, Daramola Mayowa, quickly, if you're there, please let's have a question. Ensure you are not in a noisy environment. Please make it straight and sharp, very precise. You have just 30 seconds. Daramola Mayowa.
All right, thank you very much. How have you been able to stay and live a balanced life? So you're doing all of this, you're still able to maintain faith, keep a good relationship and marriage. I mean, at a time when a lot is happening on social media, and you've never had to trend for the wrong reason. So how have you been able to balance everything? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayowa.
Okay.
Alibaba.
Okay. One thing is that I come from a home where some attributes were flogged into us. I don't know how many of you grew up in the kind of home that I grew up in. I know that some time back, I was telling my wife, I said, do you know that the way these children behave with us, if any of us tried to behave like that with our parents, we will not have made it alive.
Never.
You sit down in your parlor, you are watching a program, they'll come take the remote from you and change it to Cartoon Network. Even then, when we were growing up, they're not born us well to sit down when your father is in the parlor. You go out. In fact, as he's coming in, you go out.
Yeah.
So it is that We now have a different life. The elements that drove us back then are different elements now. Back then, they didn't have social media. They had gossip.
Yeah.
And so those community gossip were not as loud as social media. But a lot of things have changed. And the influences that we now have have also changed. So for me, I am someone who I've been cut to the basic. I understand my position. I know who I am. I know where I've come from. And so it influences how I live. For instance, I know that what I'm doing will affect my wife, will affect the family, will affect any other person that knows me. And my children will learn from that. So I live a straight life. The other thing is that the fact that I'm your friend can't make you make me smoke. I don't smoke. The fact that I'm your friend can't make you make me smoke weed. I don't. You can't make me smoke Igbo. I don't. There are certain things. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, you can be in show business, right? And live the life of a Sound Sultan. Sound Sultan never quarreled with anybody. You say something and he go, because what Jesus said matters. He said, it is not what is told to you that destroys you. It is what you do with what is told to you. It is not what is offered to you that destroys you. It is what you accept and react on. So those are some of the things that I live by. And one of the reasons again is that I am informed enough to discern. If you do not know how to discern, you become gullible. A lot of the people who get drawn in this entertainment space are people who become gullible. They're gullible to rumors, gullible to any other thing that can just sway them. For instance, I'll wear my outfit 10 times. If you like, go and call police. But you see, the ones that don't have money, will be looking for money to wear something new every day. Meanwhile, they are not earning money every day. So what does that do? It makes you bankrupt or broke, or you then begin to live a false life. You know, I told you about going to Oshodi and to Yaba to go and buy second-hand polos and wash them and then dress well. There was one time we were driving past that Yaba place, and I told my wife, I said, let me come down. I want to buy. My wife said, God has lifted you. Don't put yourself back. I said, no, I just want to see that experience. And he said, no. And we drove past. One day, myself and some of my guys, I said, now that face mask has come, let's go to that place and go and buy these things. I went there. We picked these 4-5 shirts. And I said, you see these shirts that we have picked now? When you dry clean them and wear it and take picture, people will think you already had it. But you see, they are the ones that will say, no, I can't do that one. There's a proverb, there's something that the Yoruba people say. Somebody that does not have work is saying it's in the end of month. Oh, Nisha, end of month. So it is that you must come from a place of plenty. You must come from a place of being informed to survive in this industry, to survive, and then have partners and mentors and wives that understand. Because if your wife also doesn't understand the kind of business that you do, you're finished.
That's very true. Thank you very much, sir. I think that's a very good answer to that question. Thank you, sir. Now, I have another question here. This question says, sir? Hello? Can you hear me?
I'm with you. I'm listening. I said, sure, go ahead.
Oh, okay, great. So it said, as a global comedian, we are right now in 2020. Now you have been able to take us through the journey from back then to now. What is like the future of comedy or the future of entertainment currently for anybody who is in that space and wants to still play for a long time? What is the future of comedy? At least we've seen from times when it was stand-up comedy, at some point it got to you getting on stage, at some point, but right now it looks like the world of social media. So what is it like looking like in the future?
Stand-up comedy right now has gotten to the level where you now have the MC Lively, you have the Mr. Macaroni, you have all those people that are doing their comedies online, because COVID has driven us to begin to appreciate online and social media. Now, social media is not just a place where people come and show their cleavage or show bomb or say all kinds of nasty things and quarrel and fight. It's also a place where you can put your content and people who appreciate it will appreciate it. Because just as back then when the Bible was being put together, there were all kinds of stories that people had written. Somebody who had an experience with, there's a part of the Bible that was not included, and it's the story of the Samaritan. The story of the Samaritan, there's somebody else who witnessed what the Samaritan story was, because it wasn't just a parable like that. It was a story that was already on ground of the parable of the Samaritan who met somebody, and the story was that Samaritans were not trusted. Samaritans were scavengers. If they meet anybody that is down, they will take everything from you. They were Shylocks. They always like to take from where they did not keep anything, that they did not plant. So all of those stories were abounding at the time. So when the Bible was about to be put together, they filtered out all the stuff that was not necessary. That's the same thing that we do now. You have to filter out what is not necessary to make it. You have to make sure that you work hard to make it. So for somebody like me, it is important to appreciate that the next level of stand-up comedy is how to make content get to different homes. So you either use a Netflix or you use movies. AY is already doing it. AY is now doing movies and putting them out. Look at what the awesome thing that Basket Mouth is doing with Flatmates. Basket Mouth has put Flatmates on TV. People are enjoying it. Comedians are all there acting every day and people are enjoying it. So what I'm trying to say is that content is now key. Content is king. People are taking content to different platforms and then appreciating it. It's just like football. Football that was played on the street is now on DSTV and people are taking it to the next level. So that is what I think, yes.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, sir. I still have another one here. We'll soon be winding down very soon. So this question, actually, it looks amazing. That how were you able in 1996 to charge 1.6 million in 1996? Are you able to charge premium on just cracking jokes or just emceeing an event? Are you able to convince someone to pay that much? I mean, we could look at it, you're not buying any material, you're not incurring any other cost other than for you to just show up. So how are you able to convince, because anybody can look at you like, so what are you doing? Like the man that told you to walk out and don't close the door. How are you able to convince customers to pay premium just for your services?
Okay, one thing is that you must understudy the needs of the customers. That's one. The other thing is that you must also know your abilities. That's two. What is the value proposition of the services that you are offering? You also must be able to know at what price somebody can afford you. You must know who is also ready to pay what you are charging. Why I'm saying all of this is because you may get into a field and you hear, oh, they are charging 100,000 naira. I should charge 100,000 naira. Do you have the value that matches the 100,000 naira that you want to ask for? Everybody plays Premiership. Everybody plays Premiership. Most of all the people that play Premiership. But what they pay Ronaldo is different from what they pay Lingard. What they pay Lingard is different from what they pay Aubameyang. So it is your negotiation skills. It is what you are bringing to the table that then defines what. I remember when Pogba was in Man United and they shipped him out. And then he went somewhere, got better, became one of the best midfielders in the world. And they brought him as the highest paid player in the world. So you must go and improve yourself so that somebody that is looking for you will pay premium to get you. But until you then improve yourself, the recommendation that will make you charge what you want to charge may not be there. You must, as they say, justify your fee, justify your value, prove that you are worth what you are earning. there was a time. Okay, now somebody said, how come I was able to charge 1 point something million? Okay, so we did about I think about we went to about 18 states on that tour for Saxon Brown, because when Saxon Brown came, they needed to let it penetrate the market, and so the brand manager at the time, IDE, and who later became the brand manager for Samsung West Africa, said there was need for us to promote it. And then he said, how do you then promote it? That we need to go to bars. So we're going to bars. When I say bars, you know, where people gather in the evening, they are playing high life and people are sitting down and drinking, women everywhere. Those are the kind of places that we went to promote the drink. So we went around the country. In going around the country, we went to 18 states, and we went to different local governments in some of those states, select local government that had hotels, restaurants, and big places that people used to hang out. And that was how the money came to 1.6 million. That money, at the time that I earned it, when I mentioned it to some people who were thespians, people who were in the entertainment space at the time, some of them said, nobody will pay me that kind of money. That the only people that can pay that kind of money were Sony Music, Polygram, and EMI. So EMI, Polygram, and this were the only people that could pay that kind of money. And the people who pay that kind of money to were Sonny Ade, Alexito. And they were just mentioning all those kind of names. Charlie Boy, Michael Cree. Those are the kind of people who pay that kind of money to. But the value that I brought on stage as a comedian was different from the value those people were bringing on stage. So it is the value that you're bringing on stage that helps you with your pricing. Now, about pricing, it is important to know that if you have not earned the price, they will not pay it to you. You must have earned the price. You must be able to justify that I am worth this amount. And when you go there, you do A, B, C, D. I'll repeat that. When you are paid for an event, you do A, B, C, D. And that is above and beyond the call of duty. You must give them something much more than above and beyond the call of duty. You must give them much more than what they paid for. If you pay me to be the MC of an event, beyond bringing humor to it, I'll bring strong information, I'll bring education, I'll bring calm. I'll make sure that everybody that I call up on stage feels very happy to be there. My recognition will be tight, and I will not also belabor the fact of massaging people's ego, because I want your events to be well organized. So it is something that takes experience, but I believe that with time, the people who want your services will begin to appreciate you for what you do and pay. Sometimes I remember back then when I started doing the stand-up and MC thing, some people will be like, oh, your fee is too high. But they come around later to say, oh, it was worth it. Let me tell you a story. There was a man that was a member of a committee, because back then there were no event planners, so committees were always set up. ABCD, so ABCD, above and beyond call of duty.
So ABCD.
Yeah, ABCD, above and beyond the call of duty.
Beyond the call of duty.
So back then, then there were no event planners, so they used to set up committees. Anything they want to do, they set up a committee, even if it's a corporate body, they set up committees, organizing committee and all of that. And I charged them, I think 50,000 or thereabouts. And this man was very vehement. He was like, no, what is he coming to do? Is he bringing 10 people to come and perform that only him will charge 50,000? When I got to the event, I performed and did all jokes. Everybody was laughing except that man. Everybody was laughing except that man. And you see, what will happen is that you always have one person that is like a Judas that may not like you. That should not deter you. You should still be the best that you have to be. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. Let's give Alibaba a round of applause in the comment section. A very huge round of applause. Thank you very much. We are really, really glad for all of these that we have listened to today. Okay, from all I've seen and all that we've heard today, it's really, really a great privilege for us to have learned so much, and I mean, He has spoken to us a lot for the past 1 hour that it is important for us to know who we are, know who you are, and he could not emphasize that so much. I mean, he did a very, very great justice to that. He told us about customer retention and customer acquisition, customer engagement, which is also very, very key. He also told us about marketing. He explained to us how he spends so much money on billboards, at least just to market yourself. And interestingly, he gave us an example in the Bible using the story of Joseph on why you must promote and market yourself, you know. And also, I mean, he was able to also explain to us how we should be able to recognize opportunities, which is very, very key, if you ask me. It is a very, very important thing for us to understand and recognize opportunities once we see one. He also told us to culture and cultivate the market that we're targeting. You culture and motivate and cultivate the market you're targeting. Then he also said there should be a step ahead of your market. Be a step ahead of your market. Alibaba, you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, quickly. You know, sometimes when you talk about mentorship, people think that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you talk about mentorship, please remember that when Samuel was living with Eli,
yes, sir,
he heard voices and he went to meet Eli and said, "Did you call me?" And Eli said, "No," and he left. And again he said, "Did you call me?" And Eli said, "No, I did not call you." When he went to ask him the third time, Eli said, "The next time you hear that voice, say, 'Speak, I am listening.'" That is one key part of being having mentors. Mentors know when you hear a call. They know when opportunity knocks. They know where you should avoid. So when you have that, if you do not have people to run to ask, how do I deal with this? What is the problem here? Oh, somebody, I did an event for somebody, he's supposed to pay me, he paid half, he didn't pay the other half. How do you get your money back? And so everything, I can buttress everything I'm talking about from the Bible because the lessons are there in the Bible. It is that you must have someone. And Oniduro, those are mentors. Oniduro
yes.
that tells you this is what you should do. Don't do this. Make sure this is what you do when this happens. Stay away from so and so. That's how it is. So you can continue. So I just needed to add that.
Yes, there's a question around that from Shalom Erude. This person says mentorship and coaching these days is becoming rare. How can our leaders be assessed to train the young ones closely? Like you said, you had some few persons who guided you and sincerely perhaps gave you a feather to fly. How can we assess our mentors or the right mentors? Let me put it that way.
Okay. Now, what has happened lately is that people have missed mentorship with sponsorship.
Oh,
people have mixed up mentorship with sponsorship. So most times when people then find somebody that they call the mentor, they expect the person to sponsor them. Sometimes when they then meet that mentor, instead of them to want to glean knowledge, they want to send account number. So what is happening is that people are now shying away from them. Some people are now avoiding them because if the person you are going to meet, maybe you ask the person who I needed and the person assists you the first time, and then you then come again, and the person begins to avoid you because the person then feels this one is just looking for somebody to give him money. So why I'll say this again, it is that we as a people need to understand that mentorship is very key, but people have trivialized mentorship. Backbiting is also another thing. Let me give you something that happens in the music industry. You see, when somebody releases a song or maybe some hit songs, maybe 4 or 5 songs, and release the song, then you do a music video for it. Before the artist will blow, the record company would have spent a minimum of 40 million, because this is how it goes. If you want an artist to blow, you have to produce the music. To produce music, shoot video and everything of 5 tracks, put 15 million. to produce music of 5 tracks, put 15 million. Now, to shoot the music video, if it is Clarence Peters, he will charge you 4 million or 5 million to produce the video. So those videos you see on television that you say, oh, this video is very sweet, this video is, it costs money. So if the record label now does all that, they then have to give the artist a car. They give the artist a house. The artist is not the one that will be opening gates. They will give the artist sometimes they give the artist a driver and a bouncer. And then they give the artist a salary. So they give the artist a salary. The artist is earning that salary. The artist has a generator in the house, has DSTV, has food, has fridge, has AC, everything to create comfort. All he has to do is just make sure he's producing good music. But you see, after first song hits, second song hits, he has become a star. They now tell him, oh yeah, get ready and begin to produce so and so. He now begins to ask, hey, how much was I paid for so and so? I want all my money. I'm not a star. I want to... You know what happens is the record companies now have a problem with the artist. Then the artist leaves the record company. The record company has spent close to 50 million. The artist has not earned 20 million. And he wants to break out of the contract. Now they need to raise that money and save that money and recoup that money. Then they have this problem. When somebody else comes and wants to be sponsored, the record company will turn it down. That's the same thing that happens with mentors. Some mentors will promote somebody and push the person up to a point. The person goes behind their back and either takes their businesses or rubbishes the mentor. So when some other people now come and say, oh, I want you to be my mentor, people are skeptical or reluctant or just say no. So mentorship is a very tricky issue right now because people are running away from it because of the demands of it. And some people, you teach them the tricks of the trade and they don't show gratitude. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Alibaba. I think this is really, really mind-blowing. Insightful, I must say. Thanks so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's appreciate Alibaba once more. On the comment section, let us
thank you very much, everyone.
Let's say thank you. It's been amazing having you. And also, we also want to appreciate you. He has said that after this, if you have questions and you want answers to it, you can send, to the network business club. You will see the emails soon where you can send your questions. He can still respond to them. And you will give answers to those questions as quick as possible. That would be very, very great. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Kolapo Kilasho say thank you. Thank you so much, Alibaba. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can also drop the questions on the handles. You can drop it on the YouTube. You can drop it on the Facebook as well. It will all be attended to, and we will actually get back to you with the answers. We are really, really grateful, Alibaba. Thanks so much. We are really grateful. We are really grateful. Thank you so much. We don't take this for granted, and we hope that next time we call upon you, you will definitely answer us. Thank you so much. We are grateful.
Yeah.
We are grateful. We are grateful. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, this is the network. Hello, Alibaba. Before you go, okay. Before you go, this is the Network Business Club. It's a Christian club in the marketplace to encourage business people. Everyone in business, everyone, who are in the space of business, working as entrepreneurs. And we do this to support, to help everyone involved, to give them the maximum support in the area of business, advisory. We encourage ourselves. It's a club that is established just to create that particular movement in the business world for Christians who want to do business and do it in the right way. So we implore you to please join the club, even though for a token, you can join the business club, share our handle, click on the link, and be part of what we're doing. We've been doing this for months, and we want to encourage you to stay with us. There's still more to come. There's a lot that we have to offer. We have different programs, we have trainings, and we have different seminars coming up. So, and so many opportunities, like you heard earlier from our pastor, so much more to come. So please stay with us, like our YouTube page, our YouTube page, our Facebook page as well. You can also check us out on Instagram. We're there for you. Everything that you need in the business world, you need support, you need advice, you need counseling, please reach out at every point in time. And as Christians, we do this with the help of God, with the grace of God upon our lives, you know, to encourage and share that which God has been able to help us with. We've heard from many of our speakers, even Alibaba today, you know, to let us realize from his own point of view how he has been able to live rightly and doing things the right way. And he has been able to give us a lot of biblical principles that has been able to help us, you know, to shape our minds and help us understand that it is possible for us to live right, to do business the right way, even as Christians, and to be good role models and mentors to people out there. The business definitely and really doesn't have to be done in a bad way or in a way that is not godly. We have seen from all of our speakers, you know, that we have brought to you, and they have been able to show you the right path which they've been able to follow, which has paved way for them, and how God has been a very, very strong factor in all that they've been able to do. So what are you waiting for? Why not be part of the Networks Business Club? It's a club that will support, that will encourage, and give you the best leverage that you will ever need in order to succeed in business. With this, we gear ourselves up with the experience session in order to be able to encourage one another, in order to be able to pull each other along, and together we move forward. We do the great things that God has called us to do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay. If you are with us, we would like to know, you know, by sharing our pages and, you know, liking up our Facebook page and doing the needful with us. Stay with us. We're coming next month with another fantastic session, you know, another fantastic, insightful and impressive session in order to move us forward onto the next level. So without further much ado, thanks so much for everyone that has been part of today's experience session. We want to really thank you. We want to really thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for all that you have done, trying to help us share with your friends and colleagues and everyone that needs to be part of what we're doing. We'll be bringing this to a close with an opening prayer very soon. We want to say a very big thank you to our guest today, Alibaba. We want to say a very, very big thank you. We also want to say a huge thank you to our pastor, our father in the Lord, Pastor Idowu Iluyomade, for yet another session today, being our major host. Thanks so much, sir. Thank you, Pastor Ivy, for all that you're doing for us. Thanks so much. I want to thank our HOD, Pastor Emeka. Thank you, sir, for all the support. He has been a great mentor to each and every one of us. And he has been able to pull us to help us with a lot of things that we're doing, you know, and to all the members, everyone in the engine room, I must say, I know it's a very, very tough one. It's a very, very serious work. When I mean serious work, I mean serious work. You know, Pastor Okay, Pastor Jer, Pastor Bayo, Pastor Fatubero, Shagun Ekunji, Shagun, the technical team, Kayode Amosu, and Snowball Mighty, Olamide, thank you so much. I mean, let's give a round of applause in the comment section to the team behind all of this, you know, working tirelessly day and night. And we want to just say thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you. We will love you, and we want to hear from you. Very soon, we are going to be asking you to share with us how you have gotten impact from these sessions, what you have gotten from one of the speakers, in any of the past sessions, how it has been of help to you, how it has helped you to make good decisions in your business or in your daily life, or all the things that you have ever learned from this, and how it has been of tremendous impact to you. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been wonderful. It's been a great time together. We say salute to all of you. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for believing in us. We are having an opening prayer right now, and I want to call on Pastor Bayo Olaya for the closing prayer. We'll be doing the opening prayer right now. Pastor Bayo, I believe you are with us right now, so you will take the opening prayer. Pastor Bayo, over to you.
Father, we thank you because we know you are God. We give you all the glory. We thank you for what you started. We thank you for the good work we're doing in the Network Business Club. We thank you for the Redeemed Christian Church of God. We thank you for our pastors, our leaders. We thank you for your son that you've used immensely to encourage, to touch, to teach today, because what he said today is not just by word, but it's an inspiration from you. We give you all the glory. That you take all the praise in Jesus' mighty name. For everyone that has joined us today, give us the grace to even participate even more next month and for the following months. And everything we've learned today, give us the ability to use it for the upliftment of ourselves, of our family, of your church, of your word, and of the kingdom in Jesus' mighty name. Make us all a word ambassador, and let us be able to find our mentors, and let our mentors accept us, and let everyone here today not be a liability unto their mentors, but a source of inspiration, a source of joy to you and to the entire body of Christ. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for the closing prayer, sir. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you immensely. Thank you so much. We are really grateful. We look forward to seeing you the next session come October. Thank you very much. We are very grateful. Bye for now.